Shankaram Aho Niranjana Shantaha Bodhoham Prakrute Paraha Etavantamaham Kalam Mohenaiva Vidambitaha. Aham bodha prakrute paraha. That is what we were examining. You see, I was talking about self-inquiry. So, I think I have made a big deal of it, but the point has to be made. The point is, you discover the self by inquiring about the self. You see, the self-inquiry, I would love to bring to your attention the way Taittiriya Upanishad Bhruguvalli presents it very succinctly. You must be knowing that a small part, Bhrugu Vaiva Runehi, like that it begins. So the Bhrugu, the young man, the son of Varuna, Varunehi. So Varunam Pitaram Upasasara, he approached his father, Varuna. You see in the Upanishads, the father and the son are the teacher and the student. Quite often, not always, quite often. And also, the Devata is the teacher, and then you have the student. For example, in Kathopanishad, Yamadharma Raja is the teacher, and Nachiketa is the student. And in Kaushitaki Upanishad, Indra is the teacher, Indra is the Devata. And then a king by name Tattvavidananda is the student. And in this Upanishad, Taittiriya, Varuna is the teacher. And his son, Bhrugu, is the student. So Varunam Pitaram Upasasara, he went to the father. Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Bhagavaha he Pujaniya, for revered sir, please teach me Brahma. What is Brahma? He asked. Okay? It is something like asking what is God. See, there is a way you want to believe in God. So you believe in God. The job is over. Now nothing more to be done. Only some ritual will be left. And you will perform the ritual. So when you believe in God, no questions asked. Because in belief there are no questions. And there is no inquiry. Whereas this man, this young man, he asks his father, what is God? Generally, this is a crazy world where nobody will tell you to find out God. Nobody tells you to find out the God. It's a crazy world. They tell you what God is, this is God. You take it, like that they tell. Okay? But not in the Upanishad. So when he asks, what is God? Please teach me what God is. Then, Tasma etat provacha. Then the father, he teaches. Provacha, pravachanam. Pravachanam is a very valuable teaching. And what is that? Annam pranam chakshushrotram mano vachamiti. So you want to know God? Yes. Okay. This is where you have to search for God. He doesn't ask him, so this is God, you take it. Like that he doesn't give. Means what? Suppose you go to a guru and want to know about God. The guru will give you a form and a formula. Formula is called mantra. A form and a formula. And so use this mantra and worship this form. This is God. But that is not how it is done in the Upanishads. This is how it started, and now it is going on like that in the world. But that is not how it is pursued in the Upanishad. In Vedanta, that is not how it is to be done. But unfortunately, what happens is, The modern, the later day variety of religion, namely a form and a formula are given, and you have to believe in it. There is no questioning, there is no inquiry, etc. That became popular, and it became so popular that it has come into Vedanta also. In Vedanta also we stop inquiring into what is God. We don't inquire anymore. We become believers, and therefore, so that is how we proceed. You have to examine these issues. These are very weighty things. They are important things in life. Whether you want to believe in God or you want to inquire about God, people have to think about it. So if you want to believe in God, then all this study, inquiry has no place at all. Now a variety of gods and formulae are available around. Everybody considers his form and his formula is supreme, and you choose which appeals to you better. It depends. For some people, the Vaishnavism appeals, because in Vaishnavism, the God is highly decorated, highly surrounded by all kinds of wonderful things of the world in Vaishnavism. So God, the place where God is found is like a 5-star hotel. He is surrounded by wonderful, beautiful damsels and all that. And there is wonderful food, particularly sweets present around him. So that kind of a God is presented. And it appeals to many right away. Anyway, I am digressing, so coming back to the point, in the Upanishads it is not done like that. So the Father doesn't give him a form and formula. The Father says, you have to search for God and find out, you have to discover. So where should I search for God? So God is the innermost self, called Atma. So you have to search within you. So look at yourself. That is where you have to search. He doesn't tell what is God. He doesn't give a form. He doesn't give a formula. He says, look within. Annam, the physical body. Prana, the life within. Manaha, the mental faculty. Then these organs, how they are functioning. Chakshuhu, Shrotram, the eyesight, the faculty of hearing. This is where you have to discover God. So if you want to discover God, look at your faculty of seeing and hearing. How the eyes are able to know the forms, how the ears are able to know the sounds, how the mind is able to think and know. Manaha, how the organ of speech is able to speak and convey what it knows, convey the knowledge, how all this is happening. Prana, how the hands are functioning, how the legs are functioning, what is behind all these faculties, behind all the endowments, what is it? That you have to find out. Therefore, the Rishi tells, the Devata, Varuna, tells, instructs his son, the medium in which you have to search for God. And then he tells how to search for God. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. So like this, some pointers he gives. These are the pointers which you should understand and use in your search. And this is where you search. So this is where you search and this is how you search. And discover what God is. That is how He presents. Therefore, Atma, we are talking of self-inquiry. Here Atma, you have to inquire and find out in yourself. You don't find Atma in books. Atma, where will you find Atma? Will you find it in books? You will find it in yourself. It is like finding good health. Where will you find good health? Will you find it in books? Books will be useful. You read a book, understand a few things, and finally discover the good health in you. Now, good health you discover in you, the peace, shanti you discover. Where will you discover shanti? In a forest? Or where will you discover shanti? You have to discover in you. People think that peace, shanti is discovered somewhere in a particular locale. So the locale can help, but finally the peace you have to discover in yourself. Then love, where will you discover love? In you. Then happiness, where will you discover happiness? Everybody is in search of happiness. So where will you search for happiness? Can you believe? People search for happiness in hotels, bars and clubs. That is where they search for happiness. Can you believe it? That dumb the people are. You don't find happiness in the things of the world. You have to discover happiness in you. So how many things I told? Happiness, love, peace, good health. These things you have to discover in you. Where will you discover God? So discover God somewhere else? Or somebody will tell you what God is and offer you on a platter? I tell you, you have to discover God in you, within you. So people have to understand this. They have to the search for happiness is right. But where you search for happiness, how you search for happiness is all wrong. Similarly, a devotion to God, another name for search for God, is right. But how you search for God, where you search for God, that has to be looked into. Therefore, self-inquiry means you look within, you search within. That is the self-inquiry. You have to know yourself. And the only way to know yourself is look within and search within. There is no other way. Then what about the role of the books or the guru, the teacher? They play their role. The book plays its role. It directs you where to search. The guru directs you where to search, how to search. He will not tell you what is Atma. He will tell you how to search for Atma, where to search for Atma. The search you have to conduct yourself. You see, the burden of my argument is that you cannot hand over the responsibility of self-realization to another person in the name of Guru. You cannot do that. That is just not meaningful. So you have to search. So look at yourself. That is how the chapter begins. Aham. So when you look at yourself, so you try to understand yourself. Simply you look at yourself. That should not be such a difficult thing. Looking at yourself should not be such a difficult thing. Aham. Aham is aho. Aho is an exclamatory mark. So he discovered already. He looked at himself and he discovers. Discovers what? Aho aham prakrute paraha. That is what he discovers. I am beyond the Prakriti. You have to, this I told you, the beyondness you have to understand. The body may be healthy, but you are beyond the body. The body may be sick, you are beyond the body. When you understand that you are beyond the body, in that discovery, there is a freedom. So, you see, generally, when you are free, freedom doesn't mean you get up and do whatever you like. That is not what freedom means. The freedom, what we are talking, freedom is not licentiousness. Freedom is not you say whatever you want to say or do whatever you want to do. You do that anyway. You do that even now. That is not the freedom we are talking about. Freedom is freedom from unhappiness in life, sorrow and insecurity. and a freedom from grievance, frustration, fear, and a sense of insufficiency. So however much you have around you, whether it is wealth or people or comforts or pleasures, you still feel that sense of insufficiency. Somehow there is a sense of unsatisfactoriness of it all. And then insecure, fear, frightened of life and frightened of death. Generally, if you are afraid of life, you should love death. And if you are afraid of death, you should be able to love life. But people are frightened of both. They are afraid of life and they are afraid of death. And you want freedom, that freedom. And you get that freedom when you know yourself. That is the meaning of self-inquiry. Therefore, you have to conduct self-inquiry and know yourself correctly. That makes you free, that liberates you from the bondage of samsara. Therefore, aham, you have to find out about aham. Aham prakrute paraha. See, at the basest level, at the lowliest level, aham is taken as the body. I am the body. But then you are not the body. It is so obvious that you are body conscious only in a small way. Most of the time you are not body conscious. For example, in sleep you are there, but you are not the body. Even in the waking hours, you identify yourself with the body only on certain occasions. Like I told you, when the body is sick, you identify with the body. It won't allow you to disidentify. A sick body holds you back. It will not allow you to go beyond. So, when you cannot go beyond the body, that is a trap. That is bondage. You have to go beyond the body. That is freedom. So, when can you go beyond the body? Think about it. When the body is healthy, is in good shape, you can go beyond the body. That is freedom. Therefore, the point that I am trying to make is, you should be able to go beyond. Beyond what? For example, beyond body. You should be able to go beyond body. This I discussed in the morning also. So body can become sick, could become sick, but still I am not the body. Then that sickness becomes manageable. Not only manageable, the sickness may vanish also. You never know. When you identify with the sickness and you are very much concerned about the health of the body, the wellness of the body, that makes the body sick. In fact, if you go beyond the body remains mostly healthy. It is your obsession with the welfare of the body that makes the body sick in the first place. Therefore, people have to settle this equation with the body. You are beyond the body. Aham prakrute paraha. So what you have to do is, you have to practice this discrimination. So deliberate daily exercise in discrimination. Deliberate. Very deliberately, on a daily basis, you have to exercise this discrimination. Discrimination is, here is the body, here I am. That is the discrimination. You don't identify with the body. Here is the body, here I am. In fact, this daily discrimination as an exercise, this is meditation. This is meditation. You see, when you are the body, when you identify with the body totally, you become a very selfish person. Very selfish. But suppose you are able to go beyond the body, then your selfishness, it reduces. Selfishness is very painful thing it is. Therefore, Going beyond the body consciousness, body identity, is a must. That is the very first step in Vedanta. Very first step. Generally, what we do, the difficult ones we put aside and the easy ones we try to practice. Suppose you practice this discrimination with reference to the body and go beyond the body. That is the difficult part. When compared with, you take a mantra and chant it a certain number of times, that is the easy part. Therefore, they do the easy part. The discrimination versus a chant, which is easy? Which is easy? Chant is easy. And therefore, they go for the chant. And they don't practice this discrimination. So, I tell you, you please try to think about it. As long as you identify with the body and take the body to be yourself, so take yourself to be that image which is created by body identification, that person created by body identification. As long as you take yourself to be that person, so long your rituals, prayers, and austerities, vows, pilgrimages, charities have very little value. Okay? If only you could rise above body identification, means you create a space between yourself and the body. That space you create. Here is the body, here I am. That doesn't mean you will abandon the body. The body will be taken care of. Body is what? Roti, kapada, makan. When it is hungry, you give it food, healthy food. And you give one morsel less than it requires. Then you will remain healthy. Otherwise, you will be spoiling the body. Like children, the parents spoil the children. They say, oh, he is spoiled by the parents, like that. He grows and becomes a brat. And so they have spoiled, the parents have spoiled the children. How do they spoil? By giving more than the child requires. They feed more food than the child requires. And then the child is examined by the doctor. The doctor says, the child is obese, take care, like that. Reduce the feed, etc. The same thing applies to the body. Anyway, the point is you have to create that space between yourself and the body. Here is the body, here I am. This is the first step in self-inquiry. The first step. In Vedanta, what we do, the first step we ignore. And then we talk of Brahma. What is Brahma? Sarva Jagat Karanam Brahma. This entire universe is there, and the cause of this universe is Brahma. Then what kind of cause? Causes, quite a few causes are there. So, Vedantins talk of efficient cause and material cause. But not all people talk of these two. They have different descriptions about the cause. If you go to logic, Indian logic, the Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas, they talk of Samavaya Karana, Asamavaya Karana, like that they talk of. Then the Mimamsakas, they say karma is the cause of everything, like that they talk. And then the Sankhya people, they talk of one pradhana, that primordial vilem, as the cause of this entire universe. Therefore, we will be talking about the cause of the universe. Vedantins talk of the Brahman as the cause of this universe. You know how long they talk of the cause of this universe? Whole life. They will be talking of the cause of the universe, Brahman. That is easy. because it is entirely conceptual. Like conceptual money, my Niagara example, you remember that. It is purely conceptual. I got 2 marks. I was supposed to get 2 marks and all the 100% successful. The next guy could not remember that name Niagara. It doesn't sound like a Telugu name, so he doesn't remember. I remember the name and I put it. A mere verbal expression. Merely verbal. You see, sometimes I feel like challenging people. They believe that they know a lot. What they know is nothing, silly. What they know is a bunch of words. That is what they know. A bunch of words. Do you know Shiva? Yeah, I know Shiva. Who is Shiva? Yeah, he is the God, father of 2 children. His address is also known. He lives in Kailas. He is married to a lady called Parvati. He knows everything about Shiva. Now you tell me, you think and tell me, what all you know about Shiva, is it any different from my Niagara example? Any different? Yeah. Now you understand what a trap it is. I wish I am able to convey to you what I am seeing myself clearly. It's a trap. Means what? A verbal world. A verbal world is spun. It is all a bunch of verbal expressions, highly fulfilling, highly decorated verbal expressions. And when you reel out those verbal expressions from your head, you feel great. And you feel something wonderful you have accomplished. But unfortunately, in this maze of verbal expressions, there is no connection to the truth. Therefore, the easy part we do, the real one, the difficult one maybe we avoid. Therefore, I say, leave alone the Sarva Jagat Karanam Brahmanda, all that. Leave alone, you know it already. That is correct also. I am not saying it is incorrect. It is correct. But we will come to that later. First, know yourself. Atma Vichara, self-inquiry. Without knowing yourself, you start in search of God. Your search will be futile. For example, you end up acquiring a load of verbal expressions. That is all you do. What you call religion is a maze of verbal expressions. What you call Vedanta is a maze of verbal expressions. Why it has become so? Are you following what I am saying? Why it has become so? The religion that we practice for whole life, it is merely a maze of verbal expressions. And the Vedanta, we talk about Brahma, this and that, it is merely, means what? We fail to see the difference between a concept in the head and the thing. We fail to see the difference. We end up believing concept is the thing. Concept is never the thing. By the time that you are face to face with the thing, you may not even have the concept in your mind. You are so absorbed with the thing that the concept, the word and the meaning, they just do not, they vanish. The other day I was giving the example of a tree. Tree, you sit here, I sit here and say, tree is a word. And you know it. When I say it, you know it. What I am saying is a word. What you are knowing is a concept connected to that word, corresponding to that word. But it is not the real thing. The real thing, if you want to experience the real thing, you walk out. And there is a tree, so majestically standing and soaring into the sky, touching the sky with its topmost branches, standing there for eons. The presence, you cannot miss that presence. It is very real, it is. And when you look at the tree and understand its glory, the word tree and the corresponding concept, they just disappear. And when you merge in that presence, there is a communion with that presence, which you call tree later. Therefore, the word is not the thing, the concept is not real, is not the reality. The concept is not the reality. Therefore, you may not have a large amount of concepts. You may not be a great scholar in terms of concepts. It is enough if you know a little about yourself. Aham. That is the importance of aham. That is the Atma Vichara. Aham prakrute paraha. You see, that I am, you should always understand that I am as the transcendental. I am is the transcendental. I am is not the temporal. It is the transcendental. I tell you how. Suppose you are going through some difficulty, some loss or some unhappiness. It is there in everybody's life. Nobody is exempt. You are going through some difficulty. You feel stuck with that situation. You feel caught in that situation. You do not feel yourself something beyond that situation. But as time progresses, as the difficulty becomes less and less pronounced, a day comes, sometimes soon, sometimes a little later. A day comes when the difficulty is left behind. It is not there with you anymore. It is not holding you back. You have grown out of it. This is our experience, right? This is our experience all through our life. We have faced innumerable calamities in life. Innumerable calamities we have faced. But today, we have transcended all of them. And we are standing here yet. If those calamities remained with us, one after the other, one more, if all of them remained with us, if we are not transcendental, you just imagine, you never go beyond. You are caught in that and caught, permanently caught. One after the other, they hold you back. You would not be standing alive today. The fact remains that you could transcend all of them and yet stand, if not extremely happy, at least reasonably cheerful, we are able to stand here. This point alone proves that your very nature is not to get caught. That is not your nature. Your essential nature is, you are essentially beyond. Aham prakrutehe paraha. The body, you are essentially beyond the body. You are not the body. You are beyond the body. You have to know it and become free. That brings you a tremendous freedom when you are beyond the body. So, it is not something which can be described in so many words. Though I am making some valiant effort to describe it, but still it has to be experienced. Therefore, what you have to do is, you have to conduct a daily exercise in discrimination. You have to first learn to look at yourself as the transcendental being. That is what you are. You are not the physical body. The physical body doesn't define you. You are something beyond your physical body. Whatever that something may be. It is enough to know what you are not. You need not know or you cannot know what you are. You can only be what you are. Therefore, you have to go beyond the body. It is a grievous mistake that we have done in life by totally identifying with the body. This is the grievous mistake. The family doesn't help because they take us into this body identification. The society doesn't help. The religion doesn't help either. The religion doesn't help you. The religion means the religion of the masses, not the true religion. This is true religion. What I am saying, aham prakrute paraha, is the true religion. The religion of the masses doesn't help you. You have to conduct this daily. You have to help yourself. Nobody else can help you. No, what about the Guru? This Guru thing comes quite often. Guru will show the way. And so you pay your reverence to the Guru. The Guru will show the way. There it ends. Nothing more. It is like you are traveling. Suddenly a boy comes. You don't know which way to go. Then there is a person standing there. You stop near him and say, hello sir, and politely ask, I have to go to that place, which road I have to take. He is a nice person. Some people are very haughty. He will, get out, like that he will go. But you don't go to such person. One nice person you choose and ask him, who is likely to give proper answer to you, and ask him. You do that quite often, when you are driving. You stop at a person who is likely to tell you the right path, and then ask, dear sir, which is the path? He will tell you, yeah, go this way and turn right. And you go. He won't come with you, nor you will stay with him. What is this? The physical presence of the person who is called Guru has no relevance. You just take the cue from the teacher and move on. You have to walk the path. The Guru won't walk with you. You have to walk yourself. That's why quite often I say, Atma is the Sadguru. Because Atma is the Guru who walks with you all the way till the goal is reached. The outer Guru remains behind. Anyway, coming to the point again, aham prakrute paraha. You have to teach yourself. Whatever teaching comes from outside, it is fine, nothing wrong about it. You pay your reverence, but you have to teach yourself ultimately, and by practicing this discrimination. Chalo, I have made enough case for this discrimination, and now I will tell you how to practice this discrimination. So, you may have to do it on a daily basis, maybe one time or 2 times every day, or maybe even more. So you sit upright. Sometimes it may not be possible to sit upright. In whichever way you sit, and then you watch the breath. So while inhaling, you tell yourself, I am not the body. And while exhaling, you tell yourself, I am not the mind. That is the discrimination. Once again, a precaution. The precaution is, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the mind. It is not a song to be sung. Okay? I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the mind. Like that you count and chant it. It is not a mantra to be chanted. Okay? So don't convert the whole blessed thing into a ritual. This is not a ritual. Are you able to follow? Because that is exactly what you do in a ritual. That is what you do in a ritual. Okay? So in a ritual, there is the word, the action. There it ends. No feeling, no love, no bhava in it, the Sanskrit word. You just do it. There is a big difference between thinking versus feeling. You think and you feel. Okay? Like you think of your son, you feel the love for your son. Is there not a difference between the two? Tremendous difference is there. Thinking is here, feeling is here. Okay? Therefore, don't convert this into a chant which comes from the head. It comes from the head, it has no value. Or a chant which comes from the speech, organ of speech, not much value. Counting is not required. You have to feel that beyondness of yourself. You are beyond. You have to feel it. Aham prakrute paraha. You may take that as the mantra. Aham prakrute paraha. The same thing is told in Gita. So, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. The same thing. Kshetrajna chapi mam vidhi etc. will follow. The same thing. Aham prakrute paraha. I am beyond this body. Means, while inhaling, I am not this body. You feel it within you. And while exhaling, I am not this mind. You know, that takes you where? If you really feel it, where will it take you? It will take you to Brahmanhood, then and there. Because you just imagine the gender, the family, the relations, the possessions, the status, the career, the name and fame in the society, the caste, the creed, the race, the religion, and many more, simply belong to the body. They all belong to the body. The region, the national identity. I am Indian, I am American. In India, I am Punjabi, I am Madrasi. So, all these things, not one or two, I have counted some 12 of them. You can add some more. All of them becomes inconsequential when you know that you are not the body. They become irrelevant. They will remain in their place. Nobody will take away your bank account. Nobody will take away your identity card. Just because you say, I am not the body, you will not lose anything. The relatives, etc., they won't become unhappy with you. You won't tell them in any case. You see, this body identity, it is such a huge trap. It is like an octopus that holds its prey in multiple those organs. So that is how the body identity is. But the amazing thing is, you are not the body. And once you know that you are not the body, there is such a tremendous freedom which you can only experience, you cannot explain. Similarly, when you are not the mind, you look at yourself, I suggest you are constantly caught in some issue or the other of family, mostly family. If we are struggling with 10 issues, 7 or 8 of them are family related. The son, the daughter, the brother-in-law, this, that. 1 or 2 are community or state or country related. The elections are coming, what will happen in this election, whether our party will win or not. Some such issues will be there. People who are so totally devoted to a particular party, they are very apprehensive whether that party will win or not. They are very unhappy if the party fails to win. Whereas we people, we simple people, we are okay if that party wins, we like it. But if it doesn't win, it's okay, Bhagavan. We are not so much caught in it. Whereas some people, they are caught in party politics. For them, that is life and death for them. And then these issues of life I am describing, then health issues, then relationship issues between father, son, mother, son, etc. The relationship issues are so overwhelmingly painful they are. People are virtually put down by the heavy burden of the relationship issues. And then the religion. The religion makes us frightened people. We are afraid of gods and goddesses that we worship. And then the religion itself becomes a burden. It is supposed to liberate us, but it becomes a burden. And all these issues are there. We are caught. Are you able to follow the samsara which I am describing? When you feel, I am not the mind, over, all these issues are gone. Even momentarily they are gone. Thank God. At least I have one free moment when these issues do not hold me back, do not stifle me. What a freedom it is. Aham prakrute paraha. You see, I came across a middle-aged person who was weighed down by a number of problems. Health problems, family problems, career problems, job office problems. He is burdened by all these problems. I told him, all these problems together can be called, and one name can be given to it. The name is the immediate. That is the name. Please try to get it. The immediate. What is the immediate? My health. Now I am not healthy. That is the immediate. My brother-in-law is fighting with me. That is the immediate. My wife and myself have a clash going on. That is immediate. And my career promotion issues are hanging fire. That is the immediate. My finances are in trouble. That is the immediate. This is the immediate, right? All of them put together is the immediate. This immediate is the bondage. I gave you a description of the bondage, the jail house in which we are imprisoned. That is the immediate. You understand that you are beyond the immediate. You are not caught in the immediate. You believe that you are caught. If you wish, you can come out of the immediate. The immediate will go on. It will continue. Nothing will happen to it. It will be constantly changing. The immediate is not a fixed thing. It is constantly changing. But its power to suppress us, to stifle us, is ever there. And simply by going beyond the body-mind, the immediate drops off, it falls apart. That is the freedom you get when you realize yourself as the one who transcends the body-mind. Aham prakrute paraha. Body-mind is called prakriti. So this exercise, this daily exercise in discrimination, like you do daily exercise, for the neck one exercise you do, for the hands you do, for the waist you do, for the legs you do, for the whole body you do exercises. Similarly, this daily exercise in discrimination. So, while inhaling, I am not the body. You tell yourself, you teach yourself, be a guru to yourself. That is the real guru. But it must be, you must feel. It is not about thinking, it is about feeling. You should feel. You see, Do you think that you are father or do you feel that you are father? You don't think that you are father, you feel that you are father. Thinking is very superficial, whereas feeling is much deeper, the bhava. So you feel, I am not this body. You have to put the this there. I am not this body. I am not this mind. While inhaling, I am not this body. While exhaling, I am not this body, this mind. This discrimination, it is also described slightly more to make it more effective. The discrimination, that is finally, that is what is going to liberate us. You see, there is a gentleman called Muji. You must have heard the name Muji. I have noticed his teachings. I have attended his teachings. He used to teach opposite our ashram in Rishikesh. And I used to go and sit in his class. People used to were surprised. Hey Swami, you are the teacher, why do you go and teach there? I used to say, I am not the teacher, I am a student forever. So I go and sit there whenever I find time. And he noticed me also. And then it so happened that I was in Portugal for a few days. Then I met him there. He knows me quite well. I have studied his teaching. What is his teaching? His entire teaching, 100% of his teaching is this discrimination only. This is the only teaching. There is no other teaching. He doesn't go for any other teaching. Sometimes I wondered, maybe he should add a few other elements of teaching to this. He doesn't. He doesn't. I don't know what is his reason. Whatever may be his reasons, his entire teaching, he says satsanga, 2.5 hours he sits. He doesn't get vexed. He has such a tremendous patience. He sits for 2.5 hours. And he talks all the 2.5 hours. Only one thing he talks. You are not the body-mind. You are not the person defined by the body-mind. What we call in Sanskrit, Atma, Anatma, Viveka. What I am describing here, Aham Prakrutehe Paraha. I am beyond the Prakriti. The moment you get that word beyond, that word, that expression, the immediate, you are free, I tell you. Suppose a police comes to arrest me. Suppose, a hypothetical case. I tell myself, I am beyond the immediate. He may still arrest me, he may still put me in a jail cell, but somehow I am free. Can you understand that? Therefore, that is the statement, Aham Prakrute Paraha. I am beyond the Prakriti. The word Paraha means beyond. I am not adding anything of my own. And the word Prakriti means body-mind. Why the word Prakriti is called body-mind? Because you see, Prakriti. Kriti is a movement. Pra means intense. Intense movement, intense action. You look at the world around you, it is called Prakriti because it is ever changeful. It is never the same. You don't look at the same river twice. You know what I mean? It is ever changeful. That is the Prakriti. Means it is not static. You see, when we were studying some chemistry, there was the word equilibrium. Means it remains the same. But take care, it is not a static equilibrium. It is a dynamic equilibrium. Means it is remaining the same, though it is ever changing. Okay? That is the equilibrium. You got the point? There is nothing like this remains this, that remains that is the equilibrium. No. This changes to that changes to this, These changes are constantly happening, yet they remain the same. Therefore, where you find equilibrium also, it is not the same. It is the changeful. The body is the changeful. The world is the changeful. The world around you is the changeful. The body is the changeful. The mind is the changeful. That is the Prakriti. You are the only one who is changeless. Paraha. Prakrute Paraha. You are beyond the Prakriti. So body-mind is the Prakriti. You are the changeless. This changelessness of yourself, you have to experience. It is not enough to have it as a concept. That is not, if you have it as a concept, then you feel this way, I am supposed to be changeless. I don't feel that way, but I am supposed to be changeless. Not that way. That is not useful. You are the changeless. You have to sit and look at yourself. You have to discover it in yourself. I am emphasizing on that point to no end. Means constantly emphasizing that you have to discover about yourself. That is the self-inquiry. You just recollect your childhood and look at yourself. Myself and the childhood. Then the youth. Myself and the youth. Middle age. Myself and the middle age. Old age. Myself and the old age. In all this, the childhood, youth, the middle age and the old age, they change. The myself never changes. It is the same. Then, that occasion of joy, myself, the occasion of joy. Then the occasion of sorrow. You see people, they celebrate marriage. It is a joyous occasion. But even while the marriage is going on, they start feeling sorrow. You know that? They don't even wait for it to end. Some complaint, some conflict will come. The father of the lady is misbehaving. Something like this or that. Already your ego is hurt. Even while the celebration is going on, you are unhappy. Okay, this is how samsara is like that. That's why when people are celebrating, I am not impressed. I am not impressed. They are in fact trying to escape from themselves, I tell you. That is a different topic, I will talk about it sometime. I am not impressed. Suppose their celebration is say $1,000 worth. I am not impressed. Suppose it is $1 million worth. I am not impressed. Because they are celebrating all right, you wait for a few minutes, they will start crying. Really. That's why we don't put any value to celebration. We put value to shantaha. Be quiet, be silent. We put value in it, not in celebrations. So anyway, therefore, you have to, that was a joyous occasion, we were celebrating, joyous occasion. Myself on the joyous occasion. Very soon, or after some time, the occasion turned upside down. And it was a painful occasion. Myself on the painful occasion. The occasions change, the events change. Myself never changes. Aham. अरे जानो, अपने आप को जानो भाई. Know yourself. You are not the child of occasions. You are not the victim of occasions. You are beyond all occasions. Know yourself. Tell yourself. These events, painful and pleasurable, they alternate. You see, people's lives, you know what they are, what the lives are. They alternate between pleasure and pain. Pleasure and pain, pleasure and pain. Like 5 days hard work and 2 days rest. Again 5 days hard work, 2 days rest. So this is how stress relief. Lives alternate between, they caught in this cycle. Pleasure, pain, caught in this cycle. So that is the Prakriti, ever changing. But in pleasure, myself and pleasure, myself and pain. Pleasure changes to pain. Pain yields place to pleasure. Pleasure yields place to pain. But I remain the same. I don't change. You should know it. What do you think it is? Pleasure comes and goes. I remain the same. Pain comes and goes. I remain the same. Very big thing, I tell you. Aham prakritev paraha. And then aham what? Aham shantaha. You see, the agitation, the favor is to the body, not to you. The agitation is to the mind, not to you. You are shantaha. You have to discover that quietude in you. So, you have to discover it. It is there. Aham shantaha. You do like this. You sit quiet and allow the mind to become quiet. If you allow it, it becomes. You sit quiet and allow the mind to become quiet. And then that inner silence is you. The movement of the mind and the different impressions the mind movement creates, they are not you, they are not yours. That inner silence is you. You should learn to find that inner silence. You see, when people, they try to become noisy, they are sitting quietly, now they create a context and try to become noisy. What are they doing? Why they are doing? You know, shall I tell you what are they doing and why are they doing? When they sit quiet, they are not happy with themselves. They cannot handle themselves. They cannot be with themselves. Therefore, you collect a few more people around you and create some noise. The noise could be a very worldly thing, like a party and etc., dance and all that. Or it could be religious. The religious noise is not any less than the worldly noise. If you go to a dance party, so much noise they make. If you go to a religious festival, they make equally big noise. At least in India it is like that. They make big noise. Why are they doing that? The religious people are noisy. The enjoying people, the pleasure-seeking people are noisy. Why they are noisy? You know what? They are helpless. They are hoping that this commotion, this noise provides some distraction. From what? From their own inner misery. That is what it is. True religion has no noise in it. In true religion, there is silence, there is quietude, quiet. And therefore, in the name of religion, you make noise, you create noise, and you lose yourself in that commotion. You are making a mistake. You cannot escape from yourself just by creating some noise. And that provides a very temporary, very short-lived distraction. But you will come back to yourself much sooner. to your own misery much sooner. Never try to escape from yourself through such silly, artificial means. Never do that. There is a way to handle this situation. That way is, try to be quiet, inwardly. First outwardly. Begin with outward quiet. Be quiet. Why do you go to beach? Or why do you go to a mountain peak? Or why do you go to a forest? Because even unknown to you, there is a desire or there is a yearning for that quiet in you. Even unknown to you. Unconsciously, you are seeking that quiet. Now you seek it consciously. How to seek the quiet? Very simple. Stop the noise, that's all. You need not create the quiet. The quiet is already with you. The Shanti is with you. You find out there is infinite Shanti in you. Find it out. Discover it. You don't find it in books on Shanti. You find it in yourself. So tell yourself, Aham Shantaha. Such an inspiring message it is. I sit and tell myself, Aham Shantaha. I am the quietude itself. And then be aware of the mind. Now I can see the mind also got the message. The moment I said Aham Shantaha, the mind got the message. And it is already quiet. I allow it to remain quiet. I don't want it to be disturbed. Let it remain quiet. And be silent. Be yourself. That silence is yourself. That silence is not void. It is yourself. Be yourself. And suppose the mind starts moving. Again you say, Aham Shanta. Or you can reverse it. Shantoham. You say one more time. The moment you tell Shantoham, the mind which was trying to disturb stops disturbing. It remains quiet. And I remain in that silence. That silence is not void. It is fullness. It is my being. It is myself. My being. I really am. I am really present only in that silence. The rest of the time it is all the noise of the mind, in which I am not present at all. Only the world is present. When the mind is noisy, I am not there. I am lost. Only now, when the mind is quiet, I am present. I am fully present. Shanto. Aham Shanta. You discover yourself. I don't know how to explain it any more than this. You find out for yourself. Find out one bit of it, you are liberated. It is that simple and that profound. Aham Shantaha. Aham Bodhaha. That is what I am. You see, the physical body, I am not. The organs of action means doing. Doing is of three kinds: holding, moving, speaking. This doing, I am not. Okay? This is thinking. Mind is thinking. What you call mind is thinking. This thinking, I am not. It is there. You need not fight it. You need not stop it. You need not destroy it. You need not do anything about it. You know why? It is Prakriti. Nature is like that. And it is not myself. If it is myself, I have to do something about it. It is not myself. It is not myself. Thinking is not myself. Let it be. You need thinking. Suppose now I am concluding the class, you need to go and have a cup of coffee. For that you need thinking, you need mind. Suppose mind is taken away from you, then you cannot go to get your coffee. So mind you need, let it be. But I am not the mind. Mind is a function. I am not the function called thinking. Then there is another function called intellection. Like 7 into 13, how much? 91. That is intellection. It is there, you need it. You need it. It is there. But I am not this faculty of intellection. I am not. Then what am I? Who am I? Who am I? I am that inner light. Light. Bodha. That light. Not this light. The light in you think about it, the light in you by which you know this light. You know this light, right? You know it. To know this light, there must be an inner light, that light. Okay? So let us give a name to it. Very simple name we will give. It is the light by which you know everything. When you see and know the forms, that is the light by which you know the forms. When you hear and know the sounds, that is the light in you by which you know the sounds. The light by which you know thoughts. The light by which the intellect is operated and many things are known, like grammar, language, science, etc., known to you. The light by which you know all those things, that light. Finally, the light by which you know yourself, I am. You dwell upon this. This is a meditation. I am and I know that I am. I am and I know that I am. That is the light. Now you cannot miss that light. That is the inner light. That is the light by which you know you are, by which you know the functions of intellect, by which you know the meditation, by which you know the sounds, the forms, the fragrances, the smells, by which you know the tastes, by which you know this world, all this world. There is a light in you. That light, that is what I am. Aham bodha. This we will discuss some more. Aham bodha. Om Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.